everyone, it's Jessica, and today I have a tag video for you. It was created by a dear subscriber, and I'm also a subscriber of hers. Her name is Julie Hill, and it's 10 things that YouTube has taught me, and it's the 4T tag. 10 things that YouTube has taught me. I think that was clever. Anyway, so I tag all of you guys to do it. I think this is so cool and just fun, and I haven't seen any tag videos like this yet. So the first one I thought of when I first heard about this tag was, okay, one thing I learned was to mix foundations with things. So for example, like the foundation I've been using a lot lately is this CoverGirl one, and you can mix it with a primer or like a luminizer, or you can mix it with another foundation to get your shade to be a little more correct. Or if one is really drying, you could mix it with a more moisturizing foundation to kind of get a perfect mix. So this is what I've been doing lately, and I really like it. This is the Pixi Flawless Beauty Primer. And these two together, they really are nice, and this is a luminizer basically. So I really, really like that, and that was a great thing that I picked up. The second thing I learned from YouTube was all about setting sprays. I didn't even know these existed before I started watching YouTube videos. This is one of my favorites. It's the Urban Decay All Nighter in the old packaging. I really like that because it really does make a huge difference. So I guess the main thing I learned was the power of setting sprays, because when I use one versus when I don't, there's a big difference. Now this one just really holds on to your makeup all day. This one, for me, it's the MAC Fix Plus. This one just adds a little bit of, what do I want to say, kind of, not luminosity, but just a little bit of dewiness. So if you've got a lot of powderiness going on, this gets rid of it. And I really, really like it, and that's how I end up using it. So yay for setting sprays. The third thing I learned was how to apply cream blush. I'd heard about cream blush, but I'd never owned any because I was like, how do you get it on? Like, do you just put it with your fingers? And of course you can do that. But the most effective way that I picked up from YouTube was using a stipple brush. This is one of my favorites, the e.l.f. stipple brush from their studio line. They're $3. And they're just perfect because you can dip it in and really get it on, and it ends up being really, frankly, flawless. I just wish cream blushes stayed on longer. I usually will have to set them with a powder blush, and I'm like, well, that's kind of defeating the purpose, because I like the luminosity that a cream blush typically gives, but it just doesn't stay on as long. So anyway, stippling brushes are awesome for that. The fourth thing I learned was all about skincare. And before I started watching YouTube videos, I think all I did was I would just wash my face with Dove bar soap. And that was it. I don't even think I put moisturizer on. Maybe. But I really don't think I did. I was really pretty bad about it. But once I started watching, I was like, oh, I should moisturize. And then I was like, oh, I should like actually remove my makeup too. Oh, I mean, there were so many different things. And of course, with skincare, it's also personal, because some people don't need a serum, whereas others might, or you know what I mean? And then there's anti-aging. When do you start? All this stuff. But the main thing I picked up is that I should do a little more for my skin. And one of the biggest things I learned about were serums. And mostly, I mean, this is a serum. Just argan oil. I've been using this a lot, and it's made a lot of difference in my skin, and I really like it. It doesn't have to be Josie Maran brand. I also have the Glow Naturals brand that I got from Vitacost for really cheap for a big bottle. So you can get really good deals on 100% argan oil. But I've noticed a difference. And the other thing I learned, this will be part of the same one, is just to apply your skincare items from thinnest to thickest. So you would apply a toner, and then a serum, and then a, you know, maybe your eye moisturizer, and then like if you've got a thick cream lotion, that would be the last step. You know, things like that. And like I said, again, they're so personal, and some people put them on in different orders, and that works for them. So, but all about skincare I certainly picked up from YouTube. The fifth thing, how to apply nail polish. Now, of course, mine are chipping, but what else is new? I, first of all, had never used a base coat. I used top coats. Yeah, I did use top coats, but I never really used base coats. And my favorite is the Revlon Color Stay base coat, and it's like $5.99 anywhere you get it. And my favorite top coat right now is the Out the Door top coat, and these two together are really nice. But base coats, they frankly, if I could only use one or the other, I would use a base coat, because it makes a huge difference with how long your polish will go without chipping, unless you use Essie, in which case there's just no way around it. Essie always chips on me. But base coat makes a huge difference, and it'll help prevent any staining on your nails and things like that. So yay. I also, oh yes, the Beauty Blender was introduced to me from YouTube, which it probably was for most of us. And mine I used this morning, so it's dirty and moist. But this is amazing. And it doesn't have to be Beauty Blender brand. There are a lot of really good dupes. The Real Techniques one I've heard is great. But regardless, using a moist sponge to apply foundation was new to me. And I also learned from YouTube to microwave your Beauty Blender in like a little bit of water for 30 seconds to a minute. I think I usually do 45 seconds. And it gets rid of bacteria that might have grown. So it's a great way to make this last longer without having bacteria grow in it. I thought that was really cool. And then of course you still have to wash it, but I thought that was neat. Basically, I learned to use alcohol, like in a spray bottle, to fix any broken powder products. So it could be a shadow, a blush, whatever it is. You can break it all up or just press it down and spray it and then press it down and it'll dry back to its original state. Of course, the shape of it might be different, but it doesn't change the formula at all, which really blew my mind. At least it hasn't for any of the ones I've had to use it on. So I thought that was a really important tip to include. All right, number 8. I can't count. Number 8, I learned to use a nude or a white liner in your waterline. Now, I did it today. Well, did I? Earlier today, yeah, I did. And I love the Rimmel Scandaleyes in, I think it's just in nude. And it's it's nude for me. Actually, it's funny, it's a little darker than my skin tone. But these stay on for a really long time and it's impressive and they're really cheap. They also have more expensive ones you can, of course, splurge on, but I really like that. It helps, not really, I don't think it necessarily widens your eyes. It just, that area right there can get really pink. And this just kind of cancels out any pink or redness to make you look a little less tired, I think. So maybe a little more wide-eyed in that respect, that it makes you look more awake. But I don't know that it really makes your eyes look like they're extended. Maybe it does, I don't know. Okay, another thing I learned was how to contour. I'd heard of it and I learned about it in makeup classes I took when I first started college, when I was going for musical theater. And I learned all about it, but I'd never really done it on an everyday basis. And one of my favorite bronzers, I have a lot of favorites, is the Hoola bronzer. And my favorite blush is the Bare Escentuals Handy Bouquet. It's just, I really like the shape and I've had it for years and it works well. But just the idea of contouring for every day was new to me. And I also learned from YouTube how to use a brush like this to do it as well. And I really like doing this. It's just a little more work, so I don't do it as often. That was just the brush that came with the Hoola bronzer. But there's also like the NARS Ida or Ida brush that's that same shape that's sold out everywhere. That's $1 million. But regardless, you can also use things like that. Okay, and the last thing I learned about from YouTube was cleaning brushes with bar soap. I'd used baby shampoo for a long time, and I still do, but you can also use bar soap, and it really can work in there. Dove soap, like the sensitive one, I think is really nice. Now, I don't know how it would affect it, you know, over time, like if it would eventually dry the brushes out more. I don't think that it would because it's really sensitive, but it works really well. And if you're looking for an alternative to like the Beauty Blender solid bar, you could always use really sensitive bar soap. Anyway, so hopefully that was fun for you. Like I said, I tag all of you guys to do it. I think this video is just fun. It should really make its way around because it's a really cool tag. And I think it's kind of fun to see what people knew beforehand and what they've learned. And plus, this is a great way to share 10 new tricks with you guys. Maybe you've heard of all of them, maybe you haven't. But let me know if you don't make videos. Please let me know down below some things that YouTube has taught you because I think that's going to be really fun for all of us to read. And I'll catch you guys very soon.